All right, good evening, everybody. I'm going to get started here. We're recording. That's why I'm using the microphone. I'm sure I can speak loud enough that everyone could hear me, but I wanted to make sure that this comes through on the video too. So, welcome. Thanks for being here. We've got on a Google Meet call here as well. We've got Lynn Dan, who is our representative from Harmony Tours. So go ahead and say hi there, Lynn.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. So she's there. And she's back home. She was actually in Hawaii yesterday getting stuff done and helping plan our trip. And came back to, where's it, Utah, I think you said?
Utah.
Yeah.
Yep, I live in Utah.
So.
Where it snowed today. We got snow. Did you guys get snow today?
No. May 10th is kind of our demarcation. May 10th, 1991 was the latest snowfall in Wisconsin. Now ask me how I know that. It's because we were coming home from our music department trip in high school. And we came back from Texas, and a lot of us fell asleep on the bus, and we woke up, and there's about a foot of snow on the ground. Well, what? It's May 10th, and it was this wet, heavy snow that took out power lines and everything. So welcome everyone. Again, my name is Mr. Mahan. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the choir director here. We will also onboard our new band director in the coming weeks. We've offered an extension to someone. He's accepted. He just needs to sign on the dotted line to make that official. And of course, Lynn Dan from Harmony Tours is our rep. Just a little bit about Harmony Tours and why we went with Lynn as compared to some other companies. First of all, we went out and found out about not only who could get us the best price. In this case, it was Lynn got us the best price. But also I talked to a number of my colleagues from around the state and actually around the country who have gone on this particular trip and said, who do you use? Who's reputable? And I'm gonna turn the microphone over to Lynn just a little bit. She can tell you a little bit more. And actually she started this business because she went on a music department trip and said, you know what, I can do better. And so she did. And the person that she did the trips for is actually a friend of mine who taught in Brookfield before they moved down to California. So weird connections throughout the world. And the kids are always like, how do you know everybody? I guess I've just went around the earth enough times, so I'm old. So Lynn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your company?
Hi, everybody. I am a tour and event specialist with Harmony Tours. I've been with Harmony Tours for several years now, and I specifically picked them because I traveled with them so many times. I started 22 years ago as a choir parent. I was choir booster president for 9 years at Irvine High School in Irvine, California for Tina Peterson, who is very well known in this circle of people. And I did this as a parent for many years with my children. I have 6 children, so I was in the program for 22 years as a choir parent and have continued to do that now that my children are all grown because I love it. I love having the opportunity to show kids the experience and be able to, especially Hawaii. I specialize in New York, Hawaii, and California. And I go to Hawaii 3 or 4 times a year. It's a really tough job, that, that I have to do. And, it gives us an opportunity to really show students and parents a new experience, help them learn. I love touring with choir group, with musical groups and with all groups because I think it's such a huge learning experience for the students in terms of from the music, from the history, from the culture, but also just learning to get along and share a room with 3 other people and meeting time schedules and all of that. So I think that's really important and I think that's a great experience for students. And so I really enjoy being able to try to plan groups and try to make it as affordable as we can, which is more and more difficult, but we keep doing that. Harmony Tours has been around for about 20 years, and in my opinion, they are one of the best companies out there, which is why I work for them, and that the heart is in the right place, and the idea is to share. This is not, we don't do competitive tours, we do sharing tours and culturally immersive tours. So that is kind of our focus, is to help have people share their music and share their experience and share their skills with people around the world. So that's what we do, and we love it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Lynn. So, as some of you saw, we're opening this up just a little bit to social studies to students. In particular, they will be juniors and seniors when we go, but they have to have taken AP US History or Military History, because we're going to tie that component in. Is there anyone here who falls under that umbrella? I wasn't sure if there would be anyone tonight. One. All right, fantastic. That's awesome. So, maybe two. Great. Glad to have you along, and hope you guys get a great experience as well. So, what are you going to get out of this trip? This is the basic itinerary. There are obviously lots of details that will be fleshed out in the next 15 months. But that's to be decided. But as some of you have seen, we are going in December. In particular, we are going to go and perform and participate in the Pearl Harbor ceremonies and remembrances that happen on December 7th. And that means we're going to be out of school for 5 days. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But talking to the school board last week or the week before, I mean, honestly, I was expecting them to say no. But they said, you know what, this is a unique experience. I'm not going to come back to them next year and say, hey, you know what, let's do that again. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. And I've been touring with groups now for 28 years. This is the first time we've ever done this. And it might be the last time we ever get to do this too. So it's a unique opportunity, and you can't change the date. December 7th is December 7th. And December 7th happens to fall on a Tuesday in 2027. So that's why we're doing it. So we are going to, on Saturday, December 4th, we'll get some motor coaches that arrive and take us to O'Hare, and we'll take a flight from O'Hare to Honolulu, and that is a 9-hour flight. So 9 hours in the air, good times. But when you arrive, they greet you with a lei, which is kind of a fun little experience that you get to do. Continuing then on that same day, it's the day that lasts forever, because not only is it a 9-hour flight, but they're also 5 hours behind us. So you actually gain a little bit of time. So we'll check into the hotel, we'll have dinner at the Kohio Food Hall, which is included in the trip, and then we get to spend the evening on Waikiki Beach. You can see here the arrow. This is our hotel. 1 block, here's Waikiki Beach. So we are literally a block from Waikiki Beach. And there's one during the day and there's one during the night. On Sunday, December 5th, we have breakfast at the hotel. Breakfast is included at the hotel every single day. On every single day, we've tried to include at least 2 meals if we can. It's either breakfast and lunch or breakfast and dinner. So there's 1 meal on each day that the students are going to have to take care of. We're going to hike to the top of Diamond Head, and yes, it really is that tall. So start walking now, get yourselves in shape. Me too. I got to lose a couple ounces before we get there. But you can see that this is, again, is the beach overlooking, and up above there, that is Diamond Head way up there. So you climb to the top. Beautiful view that's up there. Lunch, there'll be a $15 cash handout to help offset that cost, some beach time, and for dinner we're going to do the traditional luau, which is a neat experience as well. If you've never had poi, good luck. It's also an experience. On Monday, again, breakfast at a hotel, and then we're going to go to Kualoa. They have a ranch there that's they've got a little bit of a tour, and then you also go on a catamaran and do a little ocean voyage. This time of year that we are going, December, is actually prime whale watching season. So there is always that opportunity and that possibility. So we're going to do that on Monday, and then after lunch we're going to head to the Polynesian Cultural Center, where you learn about the different cultures that make up the Polynesian islands, including Hawaii and Fiji and all of those. It's a really neat experience, and it's been 23 years since I've gone. I still remember that experience. It's just an amazing opportunity to see what is going on in all those different cultures that make up a very unique part of the United States. It's nothing that you've ever experienced before unless you've been there. On Tuesday, December 7th, this is Pearl Harbor Day. So breakfast at the hotel. There are a lot of details that are going to need to be worked out. It sounds like our performances will probably be in the afternoon, and because that day is really reserved for veterans and families of people who were part of that, who are descendants of, because they just interred the last survivor last December. But that day is really reserved for those people to go to the memorial sites. So we will visit the memorial sites on a different day. But just to give you an idea, people are always familiar with this picture that's on the left. That is actually the canopy that goes over the boat, and if you look closely, you can see the USS Arizona underneath it. So that memorial floats over the top. It's a very humbling experience. It is a memorial site. It is a grave site. It's treated with a lot of respect and reverence as we go there. In the middle on the bottom is the USS Bowfin. That is a World War II submarine that we get to go inside and tour. And then on the top right is the USS Missouri. That is actually a picture from the last time we were there. That's us on the deck of the Mighty Mo, which is where the peace treaty was signed in Japan for World War II. So that ship is there. We'll get to be on there, and those are some mighty big guns. On the bottom right is Iolani Palace, which we might be able to get to on that day. It is the only palace in the United States because it came from King Kamehameha. And that was his residence before the Hawaii was incorporated as a state. It still stands. So neat experience there. Wednesday, December 8th. Again, breakfast is included, and then we go to Kaneohe Bay, which it's called Secret Island Getaway because it's a private island. It's a private beach that we get to go to. And they have catamarans, they have snorkeling, they have beach volleyball, a neat day just to get away. Lunch will be included there as well. And then we return to the hotel, and there will be some opportunity to go out and have dinner on your own. Thursday, December 9th. Is breakfast at the hotel, and then I have a number of colleagues who teach at Hawaii, and last time we went we did an exchange with them. That's him on the right. That's Fred Murphy. He is now the principal at Mililani High School. This is their indoor marching band. Yes, they have an indoor and an outdoor marching band. They are highly competitive and a really neat school, but it's neat to have an exchange with them. We should just do a little concert with them. We sing and play for them, they sing and play for us, and do a little bit of cultural exchanges. You get to meet some of those students. The high school, they don't have hallways. The door goes outside. You go outside to your next class. So, and by the way, the weather outside today, that's usually what it's like in December, so you're welcome. We'll get rid of the snow for a week. we had great weather today, Lynn. It was perfect. It was like mid to upper 70s, and just it was perfect.
Well, yesterday in Hawaii it was 82 degrees when I left at noon.
There you go.
Come home. So,
yeah. So then finally on Friday, Friday becomes a very long day because again, as we go back, we gain time, so now it skips forward. Breakfast at the hotel, check out of the hotel, spend whatever money you've got left at Duke's Marketplace or Royal Hawaiian Center or something along those lines. You see Hukilau Marketplace. Hukilau is kind of interesting. It's like a Hawaiian flea market. They expect you to haggle. Don't you dare pay $200 for a pair of sunglasses because you could probably get them for $2 or $4. It's rather amazing. It's a lot of fun. It's a great experience. A lot like haggling with the people who are in New York City and trying to sell you Oakies and those fun sunglasses that aren't quite Oakleys. But lunch will be on your own in that area, and then that evening we take the red-eye flight from Honolulu back to Chicago, and we arrive back home on Saturday morning, on December 11th, and then you got to be in school on Monday morning. So you have a day and a half to recover, and then back to reality. So there is that. A special note, and we need to make sure that we say this. I need to make sure I say this. This is directly from the school board. We will be missing 5 instructional days of school. This is done with special permission. It's an unusual circumstance. Usually we travel over spring break. They are making an exception because of our opportunity to perform on December 7th at the Pearl Harbor ceremonies. We understand that significance and feel it's just a unique opportunity that justifies this extended absence. Students must stay on top of your grades and your attendance. If you do not, you are going to risk being pulled from the trip. And the only way that you're going to get your money back at that point is if you have trip insurance. So, students, stay on top of your attendance, stay on top of your grades. You are students first. This is a great opportunity. We want you to partake in it, but you need to make sure that you're taking care of things because honestly, what we're trying to get you to do is what's going to happen next Friday, and that's cross the stage and say, I'm done. And you put that in jeopardy, that's secondary. Going to Hawaii, you're not going to be able to do it for this price on your own, but you could do that. All right? So, graduate first, all right? Excessive absences and or multiple failing grades could result in forfeiture of your trip. So again, had to make sure I said that. Inclusions. These are the things that are included. Round trip motor coach transportation from Waterford to O'Hare, airfare from O'Hare to Honolulu, 7 days, 6 nights in Waikiki. It includes 6 breakfasts, 2 lunches, 4 dinners, 2 airline meals. That last one, that airline meals, is all going to depend on what is still included with the airlines. Things are fluctuating all the time. We hope so. Usually with a flight that is that long, they do, but it's entirely possible we might need to purchase that en route. So just be aware of that. All activities that are listed, including transportation, taxes, gratuities. We'll have our own tour director along, and then we'll have a trip Aloha shirt. We're not going to do t-shirts this time. We'll have a special Aloha shirt that is just for this trip. Not included, 4 lunches, 2 dinners, spending cash, souvenirs. We try to include as much as possible for the price that we get. And again, try and book it on your own. You're going to find that those prices add up very quickly. There's an advantage to going on the trip. It does bring the cost down. It does mean that you have to, do what the group is doing, but there is that. So for as much as we are getting, so how much does it cost? Students and chaperones, $3,200. We are doing everything we can to help reduce that cost. In fact, already I can tell you that I base that off of, okay, this is how much an Aloha shirt is going to cost, and this is how much the bus is going to cost going from Waterford to O'Hare. And I've been taking bids and finding out where that sits. I was pretty close to that, and then I had one bus company that said, you know what, we're going to be half the cost of everyone else. Thank you! So that's going to knock off about $60 a person right there. So that last payment of $150 that's going to go to school, it's already going to be less. We're trying to do a number of out and about events that help reduce the cost of that first, and see if we can't get rid of that, and then we'll start working on the cost to Hawaii itself with Harmony Tours. Students are going to be in quad occupancy, 4 people per room. Chaperones will be in double occupancy. They are the same price. And all those prices for those people are based on the fact that students are taking up 4 per room. That's what helps bring that cost down. So people ask, well, how come the companion package is $400 more? Because that is based on 2 people per room. And so companion packages for family members who want to go along with, but not as chaperones. Minimum 2 people in a room. And because you can't get 2 queen beds and a pull-out, you could theoretically fit 6 people in a room if you wanted to, as a family, if you wanted to go along. Does not change the price, but that's where it sits. This does not include the school exchange experience, and if you're along on the trip not as a chaperone, you can do what you want. If you don't want to go and do something with us that day, you don't have to. It's not going to affect your price because we're paying for your stuff out front. All right, so just know that. If you want to go as a single person by yourself, that's the cost for that. Not sure that there will be many takers on that, but we want to make sure that you have that information. Okay, so again, $3,200 for students and chaperones, $3,600 for the companion packages, $4,400 for the single companion. Lynn, do you want to say anything about any of that to this point? I've been talking a lot.
Just that the rooms at the Hyatt Place are huge for hotel rooms, for anywhere, but especially Hawaii. So it is 2 full queen beds, and a queen pull-out couch. Has lots of space. It also has a desk area, so they're really nice rooms. So if families want to go, they are a nice size room for 4 or 5 people to easily fit. Mm-hmm. So you can certainly do that.
For those that went to Orlando, Spring Hill Suites had the same kind of a setup. 2 queen beds and a pull-out for each room. It's very much very similar. Home 2 suites. Home 2 suites is where we stayed. So very similar to that. Again, here it is, students and chaperones, quad occupancy, chaperones and double occupancy, companion packages, all of that. Same information, but just kind of laid out in a nice little chart for those who like charts. But this is all based on 65 students attending and 10 chaperones. So that's, if we hit more than that, it might bring the cost down a little bit, because that bus cost is really one of the biggest costs. Not just bus to and from O'Hare, but bus in Hawaii as well. That's one of the biggest costs. And however many people you have in the bus, that's how you get it. So you get a couple more people to go, that cost comes down. That's kind of how that works, but we're going to do everything we can to bring that down. But if we get less than that, the cost might go up a little bit. So we're hoping not to. We've tried to plan very conservatively, like, okay, this is where we think that the most it could be. and go from there. So hopefully that cost comes down. That is really hard to see on the side screens. I apologize. I'm going to send out this slide presentation so you can see that. So basically how this works is that, again, we're trying to make this as affordable as possible, which is why we're kicking off the trip now. What is due to start off is $150 down payment for each participant. And if you're going to purchase trip insurance, that is also due at the front end. That first payment is due on the 15th of June. 15 monthly payments to Harmony Tours, and then one final payment to Waterford High School for that airport shuttle trip shirt. And like I said, I already know that cost is going to be less than $150 at the end. In the chart here in the center is where I can see it. Up there, it's really hard to see, but you can see again the deposit $150 per traveler plus your insurance premium. We'll talk about that in a second. The insurance is actually pretty affordable, all things considered. And then 15 monthly payments, $200 a month. Until the last one on October 10th, it's only $100. And so again, if we can bring costs down, that might be less than, it might go away. That's kind of the hope. It's basically monthly, except for January. Next January, we're doing a payment holiday to just get it out to be on the first of the month after that. And then again, one final payment. For companion trips here on the right side, $150 down, and then $225 a month with $150 last month. Very, very similar in pricing. That'll get you at that same cost point. All right. Trip insurance. We a lot like we've done with Bob Rogers in the past. Harmony Tours has partnered with Travel Insured. We highly recommend this. We highly recommend this. This helps protect the investment in your trip. You don't know what's going to happen in your life, and we've had someone, except for this last year. No one had to use it this year, but in the past trips that we have done, we've had at least one person who has had to use this trip insurance every single year for a family emergency because they got really sick and couldn't go on the trip. There are all of those reasons that happen that are out of your control. And so you want to protect that investment. Harmony Tours partners with Travel Insured. You are welcome to seek out alternative insurance plans and companies. Again, there are two different price points. Cancel for any reason is the most recommended because it's saying, hey, we have to cancel. That's the way to do it, okay? So, sorry, I thought I skipped the screen there. Per person rates, this is the chart they sent us. That is a lot of information, so I just pulled it out for you. For student and chaperone, it's $145 for the basic insurance, $217.50 for cancel for any reason. So $217 to invest in the trip that guarantees you that you get your money back. Companion trips, because it's again slightly more, $167 for the basic, $250 for cancel for any reason. And again, insurance needs to be purchased at the time of the down payment. That's also why we've made the down payment be less than that monthly payment. Lynn, do you want to say anything about insurance here? We got the one that's on the next screen too. Do you want me to go to that first?
I don't remember what was on the screen. But there we go, yeah, so this gives you the information. Cancel, if you're gonna buy insurance, and I strongly do recommend it, same thing, we had 2 students that canceled the day before the tour this last March. One fell and broke her ankle, and one had a family emergency. And one had insurance and one did not. And that's really a sad thing when they've worked and saved the money and then lose that because we cannot get any money back at that point. So you do want to look at that. The cancel for any reason is exactly what it says. You just have to call them up and say, I can't go. And they process your claim. The other insurance is only if it's a medical reason or something that then you have to provide documentation and prove that it's something out of your control. So you want to look at those really carefully. There's not that big of a difference between the price and the cancel for any reason is so much easier because you can just decide that you don't want to go at the last minute. I'd hate to see anybody do that, but it happens. So you want to do that. You are, up until August 6th, you have full refund from Harmony Tours.
Of next year. August of next year, of 2027. Right. Sorry, just want to make sure that we were clear about that.
So all you do is you send us an email at tours@gotoharmony.com and let us know that you're canceling the trip and we will refund everything you've paid. Then after that, then there starts to be a sliding scale of how much you get back. And that's when you would access your trip insurance if you need to cancel.
So again, I just make sure that I say that again so that we're clear, not just in here, but again on the video that people might be watching. This is Harmony Tours. Their agreement is like you have 120 days before the trip. If you pay in, because that's when they start paying the bills. 120 days, that's August 6th of 2027. Once we hit that point, anything, if you cancel before that, they will give you your money back because they have not paid into anything. But 120 days out is when we start booking flights. It's when we start looking at and making sure that the hotel gets paid and the buses are booked and all of that. That's when money starts going out the door to those companies. So anything after August 6th is when trip insurance is going to kick in. But again, you have to buy that at the front end. You can't purchase it the month before and go, oh, I want it now. It's going to be too late. They won't take you. Okay, so whenever the cancellation fee is applied, the family can complete a simple claim form to insurance to be reimbursed according to the policy guidelines. So, so that's insurance. Anything else on that, Lynn, that I'm forgetting?
No, sounds good.
All right. So, and again, special note regarding payments. If a traveler falls more than 2 months behind payments without communicating with us, meaning, you know, this summer is coming up, and you make your June down payment, and because we're out for summer, you forget July, you forget August. We're going to say, are you still going? Because if not, we're gonna cancel the trip. So just make sure that you stay on top. And I've got some FAQs coming here in just a second. But again, just stay on top of that because $200 a month is manageable for a lot of people, but $400 a month becomes less manageable for a lot of people. So just make sure that you stay on top of that. But again, if you feel like you're going to miss for any reason, because life happens sometimes, just make sure that you're communicating. Hey, this is going on. Great. Thank you for letting us know. It's just when we start seeing missed payments that we start going, it's a little, that gets worrisome. Cancellation under these circumstances may void any trip insurance, meaning that if you miss payments and we cancel you out, it might void your trip insurance because you stopped paying in. And at the point, again, we're talking August 6th next year, we've started paying bills on your behalf expecting you to go. It might void your trip insurance. So just please make sure that you are aware of those little details in that. Okay, so some frequently asked questions that we get. Can we pay for the entire trip right away? Sure. However, we do recommend just holding those final 2 payments to Harmony Tours, which will be $300 for students and chaperones and $375 for companions, just in case those trip costs do decrease and to avoid any overpayment. Dealing with refunds, it's kind of messy, so we try to avoid that if we can. Well, if we want to go, but we can't make the down payment by the June 15th deadline, because that's a reality. We're asking you to put a down payment here in 30 days or so. Sometimes that's not always possible, especially if you've got multiple people who want to go. Still, complete the online registration at Harmony Tours, fill out the other form that I've got, and then shoot me an email. This is what our plan is. Just let me know how you're planning. Hey, we could do it in July, or we're going to get caught up here. Just let me know what's going on. Or if you're not comfortable sending it to me, you can go ahead and email Lynn. All right? So just communicate. Can we wait until our tax refund comes in next spring to pay? Is a question that I've gotten twice now. The answer is yes. You can do that. Just again, email with my plan. My concern with that is that tax refunds are not always predictable. And so just be aware of that. A down payment is still required, and what we're going to ask you to do is still make some sort of monthly commitment. That's probably less than that, but just so that we know that you are still invested, we're still making progress towards that. Can we use fundraising money for our down payment? And the answer to that is no, with a caveat. The down payment serves as a good faith commitment from each traveler intending to participate in the trip. Fundraising funds will begin to be applied to the trip accounts in September. So when we come back to school, we've already got one fundraiser going on right now. We're going to be doing another one in August. Once those are completed, then we'll kick off our first payment. The caveat to that is this, and there's no one in here that this applies to. The caveat to this is if you have the entire trip's worth of money in your student account, then yes, we can use fundraising dollars. But otherwise, again, it's a good faith deposit on your part. We have no one in that boat. No one has $3,000 sitting in their student account. So, and then finally, trip is expensive. We know that. We've tried to make it as affordable as possible. And like I said, it's been a number of years since we've gone. I can tell you that the last time I went 23 years ago, this trip was $1,750. And 4 years before that, because I actually did it when I was in Kenosha before I came here, it was $1,350. So costs went up $400 in 4 years, but that's also because 9/11 happened in the middle of that. That changed the landscape. Also, COVID changed the landscape for a lot of things for us now too. So we understand the trip is expensive. Are there scholarships or financial assistance available? Unfortunately, no. We don't have scholarships or financial assisting funding available for this trip. To help offset the cost, we have worked to provide as many fundraising opportunities as possible. And while family support is often important, because we know that sometimes fundraisers, they go right to family first, but I've also had students in the past who just get out there and hustle at them. My own child was one of those, that he got out there with the raffle and just hustled and hustled and hustled. And it's put some of them outside their comfort zone, but we encourage you to engage with the broader community so they know, hey, there's this major trip happening and we're gonna have this opportunity to perform at Pearl Harbor. That's a pretty big selling point. Help me go perform at Pearl Harbor. People will support that. They know that that's a unique opportunity, but that's, unfortunately, we don't have extra funds to just say, here, man, I'm trying to win the lottery. I would love to do that and say, hey, guess what, everybody, we're going. Your families too, don't care, I got it. I wish. It hasn't happened yet, because I'll do that last and then you won't see me again. Speaking of fundraising opportunities, our spring raffle is happening now. For those of you that are kind of new to what we're doing here, we are selling raffle tickets, $25 each, giving away cash prizes. We have to sell 400 of them in order to hold the sale. And right now, I've only had about 125 that have turned in their money. I know there are a lot of them out there. There's about 850 that are out there. So we're just trying to say, hey, help sell the tickets. Again, take those out. I sat at Spanky's for a couple hours on Friday and sold about 12 of them. Okay, every little bit, and that's going to go right into the fund to help offset the bus costs. Okay, every little bit helps. If you talk to some of the area businesses, the restaurants, they might let you sit there and help sell tickets for an hour or two, and it might be worth your time. Okay, but we got that going on. Technically, that money is due Friday. The drawing is Tuesday, so if you need the weekend, just let me know what's going on, because I want to try and get that paperwork done on Sunday and Monday. We'll have a car wash, which is really a pledge drive. You go out and ask people if they'll pledge X amount per car, a dime per car, a quarter per car. Last year, does anyone remember how many cars we washed? 100. Was it 100? Okay, and the year before it was almost 200. So, was it? 170 this year. So yeah, 170 this year, 200. So again, if someone pledges a dime per car, that's $20. You get a bunch of people to pledge that way. That's how, and again, there's no product. You don't have to worry about selling and delivering product. Butter braids, you do have to worry about that, but that's always been a great seller for us. We'll do the raffle again in the winter, and then in 2027, we'll have something in February. We'll have a spring raffle, another car wash. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different fundraisers that we can, and so you go, okay, we've got about $2,800 because we're talking about $3,200 minus the down payment that you have to do, and hopefully again trying to eliminate that last one. $2,800, 7, try and get about $250 per fundraiser. You've cut you've cut your cost down quite a bit. That's kind of how I approach it and how we approach the trips with my son. So we also hope to have some out and about performances like the other night. Last week we went to Pizza Ranch. We're going to be doing that again. We brought in $600. That went into the fund to help reduce the bus costs. So we're trying to do some of those too. all right? So we're trying to do everything we can as an organization, but again, it's little chips. The big chips that you can do are the fundraisers that we got there. Chaperones. I think I might have more adults interested in this trip than students. Can I chaperone? We shall see. So we have heard from many people who would like to be chaperones. Chaperones are to be parents or guardians. They are not siblings or other relatives like aunts, uncles, or grandparents unless they are the designated legal guardian. Chaperones must also submit to a background check by the district and understand that the cost is the same as the student participants. It is a working trip. We are so grateful to our adults who go on the trip because they give up their time and their money to go and supervise a bunch of students. Disney's easy. They're in the park, they go. New York is a lot harder because they're out and about in the city. Hawaii is somewhere in the middle. There's going to be some times when they're going to need to be in small groups with a chaperone, and then there's going to be some times where it's like, go be free feral children for a little bit in this secluded area. But chaperones are considered based on a number of factors, and we use the following hierarchy to help with these decisions. 1, special circumstances, students' medical needs. And we don't specify what that is because we take it on a case-by-case basis. Junior and senior parents get first consideration, and then male and female chaperone balance to represent the population of the students going on the trip. We always need more dads. We always need more dads. And then band, choir, and social studies chaperones to represent the population of the students going on the trip. So we just are upright and saying this is our hierarchy. We want to go. If you want to go to chaperones, we would love to have you, but this is how we're going to decide on the people first. So the thing. Oh, I forgot about this, Lynn. The thing that you could do is you could have a chaperone and a companion package in the same room. So dad's a chaperone, mom's just a companion. That totally fine. We can make that happen. Okay, and we'll talk about that on an individual basis if we cross that. We've also had couples be chaperones, both of them. So mom and dad go along as chaperones as well. So how do you sign up? So fill out school permission, the commitment form. It's a tiny URL link, tinyurl.com/2027 WHS-Hawaii. Fill it out for every student participant that needs to go along. If you're interested in chaperoning or a companion trip, just indicate it on that form. Then go to Harmony Tours, the payment portal, secure your spot. Again, the down payment isn't due until June 15th, but we'd like you to register so that we know what we've got going on, how many people are interested, what's our threshold. A partial registration or registration without saving a form of payment does not reserve your spot. And that happened to a couple people last year. I filled it out, what's going on? You didn't enter your payment information. That did not reserve your spot. So make sure you get that. So, questions, which I'll take general questions here in a second, but if after this meeting you think of some more, email me. And then if I don't know the answer, I will then email Lynn. However, if it's questions about the registration process, reach out to tours@gotoharmony.com. If you're on the link, let me go back, that tri.ps, if you go to that trips link and you click on ask a question, it will automatically tag you as this is a Waterford High School question. So they'll know specifically which trip you're referencing. Okay? Harmony Tours will not give out any personal information to anyone about what hotel are we staying at, when are we performing. All of that is done internally with us. Okay? So, questions I can ask of the group. There's a lot of information. Yes?
What's considered a companion?
What's considered a companion? A companion trip is basically, it's like a ride-along. It's anyone who's going on the trip who is not a student, performer, or social studies student, or a chaperone. Anyone else is considered a companion. Any family member. Grandma and grandpa want to go, aunt, uncle, cousin, not your dog, unless it's a service animal. Yes, all of those are considered companion packages. Great question. Yeah, this is unusual. We usually don't offer this option, but we also understand that a week in Hawaii is very, very tempting. Yes?
Can you restate the requirements for a chaperone?
Restate the requirements for a chaperone?
Or step parents?
Yes, yeah, if you're the legal guardian, yes, step parents, absolutely. What we've gotten is, well, my sister wants to go along as chaperone. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because we know at the end of the day, sister's probably not going to act as a parent, they're going to act as a friend. And what we need is parents. Yeah, not necessarily cracking the whip, but people who will abide by the rules and help enforce the rules. Yes, sir.
Are we allowed to go out to church on Sunday the 5th?
Yeah, we can make that happen. If you're interested in going to a church service, we can find a number of churches in the area. Absolutely. I'm trying to remember. Let's see, when we went the last time, we were traveling on a Sunday, so we didn't have that opportunity. But in 2000, when we went, yeah, we found a couple area churches.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Other questions? Yeah.
If both parents go along, does the student stay with the family in a hotel room, or can they be in like a hotel room with their friends?
Sure. The question is, if both parents go along, do the students stay in the room with the parents? Absolutely not. Students stay in student rooms. Chaperones stay in their own rooms. We do that for a couple of reasons. It's a school trip. And that's part of the experience, is going with your friends. Yes, the parents are there, but by the same token, parents and chaperones are not allowed in student rooms. That's a security issue, that's a safety issue. So yeah, as much as sometimes students are like, oh, our parents want their child staying in the same room. You're in the same hotel, you're close. If there's really trouble, they'll find you. Okay, great question. Yes?
Is there security at night?
Is there security at night? Lynn, is there security at the hotel at night for us?
We do not have individual floor security. The hotel requires a hotel room key to get up to the student floors.
Okay.
But we do not have separate security for the students. We do put the chaperones between the elevators and the student rooms. So as you get off the elevator, the chaperone rooms are there, and then the student rooms are farther down the hallway.
Mm-hmm. In my experience, long time ago, this is the Aston Waikiki Hotel. It's the same hotel. And my experience is they are very observant of people coming in and going out. In fact, the first time we went out there, a couple of the girls were hanging out the window waving at the Navy guys going by. And surprise, surprise, the Navy guys found out which room they were in and started making their way up. The hotel's like, out. Get out. And I happened to catch them at that same time. I'm like, where are you going? Oh, they invited me up. I said, they're 15. Bye. They're very resourceful, those military folk. Yes. But yeah, the hotel is very good about that. And you have to have a room key in order to access the elevator. So, great questions. Yes?
Will there be like a chart going on about like what each individual month looks like unit-wise?
Will there be a chart going out what each monthly payment looks like? Yes, that chart that I had before, let me go back. This one, yeah, bigger. That'll go out. You're going to get this. I'm emailing this out, Izzy. I appreciate the picture. Not just that, when you go to the registration site on Harmony Tours, they'll also have it. By the way, if you're like, we can't do it, we're going to make the down payment in August or September, you make that $150 down payment plus trip insurance if you're going to do that, and then their system automatically adjusts the payments. So you don't have to do the math. So there'll be more, okay? But 15 payments of $200 each, roughly, that's $3,000. So if you take off 4 months and you don't register until 4 months in, it's going to take that $3,000 divided by 11 payments. And they will do that math for you. Cool. Any other questions? Yes?
Is there a dress code for the Pearl Harbor Memorial?
Is there a dress code for the Pearl Harbor Memorial? Yes, there will be. For our performance, there will be a dress code for that. And for visiting, we will have all that information. I know that specifically, because this just kind of hit national news, swimsuits are not allowed. No swimwear, things like that. And so that's not allowed at they expect you to have some sort of decorum. But it can be shorts and a polo shirt or a regular shirt. It's nothing formal. Our performance is different. Our performance, we're going to want to have something, and we'll figure that out. We're not going to put them in turtlenecks and long pants. I promise. Great question. Yes?
For those students going that are not part of the
Yes.
department, what do they do during the performance?
Sure. During the performance, again, there's we're working on some opportunities for them to deepen the history and the military history, the U.S. history aspect of that. We're working on those. We don't have answers just yet, but we are working on those. Because again, performance day, those students will be at the performance to watch our students, but at the same time, they don't have to be there while we are staging to get ready and things like that. We're going to make sure that we've got some experiences for them as well. Yeah, great question. All right. Again, I know it's a lot of information, and there are probably more questions as you come out, and you go, oh, but what about this? And understanding that a lot of the finite details we're working on, but I know that, again, the social studies aspect, we are working on that. We don't have answers yet because that's an unusual request. Usually they're used to dealing with music groups. That's really easy to take care of. There's kind of a formula to that, but we are working to get some experiences that deepen those studies as well. So. Yeah, I can tell you this. It's been 23 years, and I jokingly said to my wife, I said, I'm just going to send the kids back, and you can come get me when it's our time to retire. It's a great trip, and you're going to find that is memories for a lifetime. And it's one of those that I know it's a lot of money. It is worth every penny. And the people especially who have to scrape and save and fundraise like mad, get a lot out of it because they had to work for that just to make it happen. And those are life-changing experiences. And we hope that you take advantage of it. And we hope that our kids have a great experience, that they come back and talk about it. I tell you what, when I announced this on Facebook, those classes that went 22 years ago were like, oh my God, I remember that like yesterday. In fact, I ran into Raylan D'Elia at Spanky's on Friday. She says, oh my God, that was great. She still remembers. It was an awesome trip. So many memories. So again, two things to do. Fill out the form. It's just saying, hey, this is me, the student. We're interested. And then if you're want a chaperone and or a companion trip, and then register at Harmony Travel. If you have individual questions you'd like to ask, by all means, come on up. I also have raffle tickets if you want to check them out and try and get some of those sold. Again, $25 per ticket, minimum of $10 per ticket goes to the student. If we could sell 1,000 tickets, there are some incentives that are built in that are not on there. My beard is safe right now. I'm just saying that. But we've offered to shave off my beard if they can sell 1,000 tickets. But the real incentive for that is that your profits double. Because we've met what we need to in order to have the sale. And instead of $10 a ticket, now they get $20 a ticket. That's a huge jump. So if you can sell 50 tickets instead of 500, it becomes $1,000. That threshold is when we sell 1,000 tickets. Question?
No, I was just typing in how much I have to buy to do here.
There you go, 1,000. We need to sell 1,000 in order to shave my beard. Mr. Ludia said he'll go bald if we sell all 2,000. Both of us are safe right now because there have only been 850 checked out. So, but we need to sell 400 in order for that sale to be viable. So, again, if you have questions, please feel free to come on up. You can ask me. Lynn is on the screen here. In fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stop presenting that and present something else. And I'm going to put Lynn up on the screen. So, sure I am. Oh, come on already. Maybe I won't. I'm going to stop presenting that. And I'm just going to pull this over to the side. There we go. There's Lynn. Now you can wave at him, Lynn. There you go. So that's Lynn. So,
hello, everyone.
But I will unplug her from that screen, so if you have a question that you would like to have answered for Harmony Tours, you can ask her directly or come on up. But otherwise, I think we're set. Again, hope you partake. And I know some of you are on fact-finding mission right now, but let's go have a great trip. All right, thanks, everyone.